guys, so we are back, and today we're going to learn a little bit about long guard. So I'm sure you guys know already that there's a huge variation of guards in the world just by watching fights and seeing different ways people hold their hands. We're going to touch on one today that I got taught to use in one of my fights against somebody that was really good at slipping and constantly moving in. So every time I'd punch, they'd slip and attack or something like that. So it's called the long guard. So it speaks for itself. My natural stance is just here like this. And long guard just goes boom. I just extend my lead arm. Alright, I have a bit of a kink in it for reasons that we're going to learn about. And it's very effective. Israel's used it quite a lot. Loads of fighters in the world have actually used this, okay? So all I'm doing is extending my arm. I'm not moving myself forwards at all. Alright, but what this can do is this can give the impression or the feeling that I'm a little bit closer than I am to my opponent. So my opponent might react a little bit more. But it also cuts the time in half that I can get my jab to their face, alright? So when I extend my arm like this, obviously I lost a lot of power by pulling my fist away from my face. So all the power generation that I usually have from here, right, to their face, boom, is gone because I put my arm here. But if you guys watch my video on bridging, this is going to help you learn the footwork to generate power for this movement, right? So I've got my arm out like this, my back foot's up, my leg's nice and loaded up, and where I've lost the power from extending my arm, I'm going to gain it back with my leg. So my arm's out. As I throw my jab, I'm going to roll it over and turn my knuckles in and lock my arm out straight. I push up my back leg. Righty? So I'm still out of range. We touch gloves. This is where I usually start. My arm's out, nearly at that range. I hit this pin. I push off my back leg and bridge in and roll my knuckle. Alright, so this is how I'm going to throw the jab, right? Obviously, once it's here, I can lead with my two after. I'm here. A whole variation of things, kicks and stuff like that, alright? This, getting to the face so fast, can be quite deceptive. So if I have my guard here, my natural stance, and I jab from here, boom, there's quite a different rhythm. Boom. And I have my arm out here, and then I'm going to push off my back foot. Boom. Alrighty, how I can hide it, it's quite obvious for me to just be here and then go and stick my arm out. Right, it's very obvious that it's out now and I'm maybe trying to do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fake first. I'm going to fake and drop my arm out. And now just leave it out here floating. And now I can choose what I want to do from there. Cool. I can go to the gut. Cool. It's up to you. The reason I had this kink in my arm, guys, is for defensive purposes. Alrighty, so the most inviting thing about me holding my arm out here, in my opinion, is overhand rights and leg kicks. Alrighty, so my arm's sitting out like this. Wrestler might want to step in and try and punch over this. Boom. Alrighty, or she might want to chop at the outside of my leg. Bang. Or the inside. Alright, so these are the three main things that I teach defensively when I teach someone a long guard. The reason I have my kink in my arm is so I can roll my elbow to the ceiling and it's going to protect me. And I also want to raise my shoulder up for like a normal shoulder roll as I do this as well. But the main thing is, boom, I'm just going to turn my elbow up and that's going to bring my shoulder up. I'm going to suck my jaw down like this. I'm going to shoulder roll her punch. So let's say she steps in and throws a big overhand right now. Boom, I just turn my elbow up, roll my shoulder, and now I have a bit of defense there as well, okay? Always be aware that your ribs are still open, okay guys? This is the sacrifice you make by trying to use this guard. My other hand's stuck here, so if she throws the hook, boom, I just roll with that as well. When my arm is out here, I also have to be aware of my leg, so get good at drilling this. If she throws a low kick, bang, I turn my knee out, my arm's here, she throws it inside, boom, I turn my knee in. Alright, so this is the three fundamental basics of having a long guard, in my opinion, okay? This is what I've been taught. So I have my arm out, wrestler throws overhand right, boom, I roll my elbow up, suck my jaw down into my shoulder, boom, and I can hide myself pretty well, okay? And then she's going to throw the hook, bang, I block that. Righty, I'm going to step back, I'm going to drill the low kicks, I have my arm out, she throws a low kick, boom, I turn my knee out, she throws it inside, boom. So the next thing guys, another benefit of having my arm sitting out from my face like this, is it's less commitment to the jab, alright, like less commitment with my arm and my body weight, in a way, okay, I can just go, boom, and jab like this. So if I come across somebody, this is why I got taught it, I fought a guy that was very good at slipping, so every time I would throw my jab from my face. He was very good at. He had good eyes. He could see it coming every time. So he would slip, boom, like this. Then he'd counter, or he'd punch, or he'd chop low, or do all sorts of things. All right. So I got taught to have my arm out like this. So it was much harder for him to read when I could, boom, just jab like this and push off my back foot. So I fought this guy with a long guard, right? And sometimes he would slip, and then I'd just leave my arm there, and I'd control him, or he'd throw the overhand, but I'd have that kink in my arm, and I'd protect myself. He'd throw hooks, I'd be here. So I'd always use this long guard to stop this guy coming in. If he slipped inside, I would just pivot and push their head a little bit and like off balance them. The main thing I used was jabbing to the chest. So if someone's always slipping my punch, even when I have my long guard like this, they slip all the time. It's very, very hard to hit them. What I can do is just jab the chest, right? Because the chest doesn't really move even when you slip. And it knocks them backwards, and then I can land my next punch to the face. So this is the benefit of having a long guard. You get somebody that's very, very good at slipping, bobbing and weaving. My arm floats out here and I can control them, I can move them, and I can commit less to the jab, and I can get the jab to the head or the chest in a fraction of the time that I usually do when it leaves from my chin. Having your lead hand out, guys, is also very distracting for the opponent. So if I always have my lead hand out here and I'm floating around like this, I try to get them for like a fraction of a second to look at my hand. And every time I see them look at my hand, I'll jab, because it takes the focus off the rest of my body. Or if every time she looks at my hand, I'll throw a low kick or something like that, because this has their attention. This has occupied them. So this is another benefit of sticking my arm out. I can also put it in their vision, right? So every time she's looking at me, I can just put my hand where her eyes are and constantly pester her like this, right? This is also a very, very useful thing to do. So guys, today we touched on the long guard. That's a very, very useful guard to get good at. Unfortunately, when you first learn it, your arm is going to burn ruthlessly, your shoulder's going to burn. So the way I learned to do it was I just grabbed a little 1 kilo weight, and I used to just hold my arm out like this during shadowboxing rounds and rotate it, jiggle it around, jab a little bit. I wouldn't put it down for the whole 3 minutes. This is when I was kickboxing, and I just conditioned my shoulder this way. Alright, if you don't do that, it can be pretty hard to hold that out there for a whole fight. It gets pretty sore. It doesn't take too long to condition it, so I recommend doing this. And if you can fight by stance shores, Israel says, do it with your other hand as well. Keep both your shoulders strong. You should probably do it anyway if you're fighting, because it's pretty essential to have strong arms. So guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comments below. Put links in there for fights if you've seen somebody use the long guard or if you've used it yourself. And I'll see you guys next time.